Well, welcome. We are the Global Grandmother Council Network, and we are doing a series of interviews with Tending Our Roots. We're looking at the roots of who we are as individuals and as a species and as grandmothers. Today, we have the grand privilege of interviewing Te Raukura Turuki, Nanny T. She's a galactic grandmother of Mu and an indigenous medicine woman from Aotearoa, the land of first light. We call it New Zealand. She carries the wisdom of returning to our roots, walking the peace trails, and living the beauty way. Her heart work is about bringing through the first light codes and remembering the ancient path that leads us forward. I got to listen to some conversation she was having with other grandmothers in the Galactic Grandmothers of MU, and I so appreciated how you express that journey inward and the ascension, and how that is such an important part of what we're doing now. So welcome, Nanny T.
Oh, kia ora, beautiful sister. Such a privilege and an honor to be here. It's quite early in the morning over here. It's quite cool considering it's been really, really hot lately. So we are moving into summer down here in Burst Light,
Mhm.
and we've been having steaming hot days. So I hope it's a little cooler today. That would be nice. But yes, we've been doing these incredible deep dives lately and just working out what are we tending to right now and how are we navigating these new frequencies that are coming in at the moment, especially with the incoming interstellars, because that's kind of like one of our big focuses, being from the
Yes.
galactic grandmothers of Mu. So we're not only tending to our roots, as in the roots of the earth and waters and ourselves, but also what's actually happening in the cosmos and the sky, and how that has a direct effect on us, and how it's a reflection of our inner world as well. So what we're seeing outside is, of course, all within us, even the fractal version that we see in the macro form of Papatuanuku or Mother Earth is also reflected within us. All the sacred sites, all of the elements that are of her are also within. So that's why I like to call this an ascension rather than an ascension. Yeah,
Yeah.
even though we're spiraling up, we're also spiraling inwards. So there's this whole dual thing going on. And just even speaking into that makes me feel excited.
Oh, it's so exciting. And if you think about all of the sacred sites on earth being inside of us, why don't we journey inside and discover the sacred sites of our being? That's that's what I hear you saying.
Yeah, precisely. And what's actually happening with this ascension and the interstellars coming in is they're actually taking us even deeper into that process of appreciation of what's not necessarily outside of ourselves. Yeah, we're only seeing through these two eyes the world that's reflected. And, if we really get caught up in what's happening in the world and the collective frequency of I guess, the matrix,
Mhm.
we can get really caught up in that river and get drowned in that process. So, one of the safest places for us right now is to be in our hearts, to tend the roots of our heart, to tend the roots of our womb, which is, in a constant state of creation. It's part of the wisdom work that we do with the Temple of Venus. We're working with the very first codex of how we even came here. We came through the womb. So It's so important to nourish that space, to keep it really clear, to keep our creation codes very clear so we can start working with not only these two eyes, but all the other eyes that are within us, the eyes that we can't necessarily see outwards through, but we can certainly see inwards. And we can see the new creations that we're choosing to birth. This is what I'm I'm really feeling is what the interstellars are all about. What about you,
Well,
Mayana?
yeah, the tending of my roots of this interstellars, I know that I have roots in Arcturus and Pleiades and Andromeda. Those are the three main star systems that I have roots in. And I have to be very careful with my managing of the harmonizing of those energies within. It's a practice. And I love that today it's 12:12 where you are already. It's 12:11 where I am, and it's 2:12 p.m. where I am. But I love that Sagittarius's arrow is pointed directly at the galactic center today. And one of the astrological alignments says the king of the fairies is released today.
Oh,
This is our elemental world coming back that has been overtaken by the dark energy,
mm,
and they are coming back to life now.
wow. I love that. That really sings some songs to my whole energetic bodies. And I'm talking about many bodies. We don't just have the one body, as we
Right.
know. And the elementals, how important they are, and particularly in Māori culture, we know the elementals to be part of the land, the water, the sky, but also we commune with them. We actually identify with them. They all have names and they're personified in that we believe the river is a being rather than just water. It's a
Right.
being. And I love the work of Vita Austin where she's really bringing in the wider of the water, and she's discovering all these other elements around the waters, and how the autists are now being brought in to be able to share more information about what the water is saying and how the water is God consciousness in in liquid form. And it's probably it's the most abundant substance within our body, considering that we're 99.9% water by molecular count. And
And
that's really,
it's not just H2O water. It's electric plasmic water. And we've been taught that it's just like H2O water, but it's alive. It's living water.
it's also H2O2. So there's two particles of hydrogen and only one particle of oxygen. Hydrogen is the levity component, which gives us our luminosity, and it's the plasma charge. And the O is the oxygen, which is actually the gravity part, which keeps us anchored here on this planet. It's kind of necessary, otherwise we'd probably be floating around in space, right? Which sounds pretty cool. I'd really like to experience that.
Well, I've traveled out there. I don't say out of body because I'm always well aware of my body. And one of my first lessons was a flying lesson from Spirit. It said, there's nowhere you need to go that's outside of your body. And I could go inside my body and be out in the stars, standing in the middle of the stars, looking at that planet or that one. And
Wow.
and just
Yeah.
being present in that galactic and cosmic realm.
Mm. Well, that's a consciousness, isn't it? It's
It is.
a, yeah, and for us here in Aotearoa, we look to predominantly the Pleiades, which is believed to be where our ancestral star is. It's very interesting that the Mayans also come from there, and
Mhm.
Māori and Mayan have got quite similar kaupapa in the very core of the content of what they're sharing, with the living biotech and the Hawaii tapu map that we've just recently unearthed again after quite a while of, no longer or nobody really deciphering it, I guess. And now it's come back online and we're working with it, we're weaving codes with it, but it's a remembrance and a reminder of our star whakapapa lineage and who we are as a species. We're certainly not just from this planet. We are star-seeded here, and that Matariki or Pleiades is also thought to be the central sun. So with the Alcyon sun, and that's the Quero elders in Peru who also hold the whakapapa lineage of the Mayan people. They talk about the central sun being Alcyon and of the Pleiades. So it makes sense that this interstellar that's come in has come through the central sun to be with us, and that's been on the lips of many Indigenous whānau, family, and many Indigenous wisdom keepers, even the red and the blue kachina, how they've come in into our storytelling and into our sharings, and the light ship of into the interstellars that have come in now, it's actually changed from red to blue to green. It's like it's a little bit of a Christmas light, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's changing. And it keeps changing direction, and scientists can't keep up with it. But of course, we know that it's come here to awaken us from the central sun, and all the suns link up to all the other suns. It's like a massive big plasma portal of infinite potential. There's so many universes beyond that, and so many creation codes within the sun itself.
If we could only see what's between you and me in, from Virginia to New Zealand, to from the space in between each star is so filled with life. It's not empty. Our eyes don't see it, but that doesn't mean it's empty. And it is full. I saw once that out in Puget Sound, Washington, I saw all time and space beings walking back and forth through in the air between me and the person I was with. And it was like, oh, that's why we don't see it. It's a little distracting.
Well, exactly. We could get really, distracted, all right, and, just focus on that rather than the things that we're meant to be doing.
Yes.
Imagine that. We're actually only seeing 0.1% of the visible spectrum of light. These human eyes. That's why we need to illuminate all our other eyes. And I guess that's one of the reasons too why the three eyes of Atlas have come to awaken us.
Yes.
Now, Robert Edward Grant talks about the third eye being activated. Now, he doesn't call it the three eye atlas, he calls it third eye atlas. And he believes, and this is what he did, the work he did over in Peru when he was at Sacsayhuaman. They saw the fractal version of the brain, the human brain, in the location of the pineal gland in a particular place at Saxe-Warman. And they took an aerial view of the site, and sure enough, you could see the outline of the brain within the rock structure, and then a chamber right in the middle is where the pineal gland was situated. And they did work there doing sound and really focusing on the third eye activation. So they believe that that's actually a third eye activation site. Of course, being a sacred site, we have it inside of us, it's within our body temple, and probably there's multiple third eye sites around the planet, but it's really exciting times to discover that we are the soft biotech that's coming back online, that's connecting to our interstellar roots, not only of Earth, but we're also of sky. We are water beings. We are plasma charged water beings. And one of the kōreros that I always share is that we are the living pillars of Mu that are now being activated. We're now actually remembering who we really are. And we are living standing waters, essentially, of this incredible sacred site, this consciousness that's coming through us, this living portal, this living covenant, and we're here to bring the ancient return of Mu. So we're going back to the future again. This is part of the Galactic Grandmother of Mu kōrero, and sharing is that we are going back to the future. That's the Ouroboros. We're coming back up onto the new dimensional spiral. So it's never the same, but we're back with where the snake swallowed its tongue again. And so yeah, we're seeing this new spectrum of light and seeing it through new eyes.
I think this is one reason why people have been so isolated, because we've needed to really embody each of our individual essences so we can stand as those pillars and be the intercommunication portal that we're designed to be. And then from our hearts, we connect with each other and we create this grid of energy across the surface of the planet that's about 4 feet off the planet for most of us at our heart level, that will help to stabilize the emotional realms so the new can grow. So, like a trellis for the new children energy to grow up into and be stabilized.
Beautiful. Absolutely. I agree. We are the new children of Rā Ngāti Rā. So Rā Ngāti Rā is, not only does it mean esteemed elder, that's Māori, it's a Māori word, but it also means the children of the light or the children of the sun. And we're returning back to that original template where we all came from the sun. Here we are, we're worshipping the moon, and we're, doing things wrong way in some ways, because to be a worshipper of the sun has been distorted in modern world. Oh, that's super interesting. You're just
Oh,
fractalating out.
I
Can you
am.
see that? Wow. And
Wow.
it's been distorted, and it's been turned into a worship of a dead man on a cross. But as we know, that was part of the psyop to keep people controlled and to keep us in stasis so that we felt powerless within ourselves. We had to find an outside source and had to receive it from a religion or another program. But as we've been discovering, and of course I was a Christian for quite a long time as well, I think we all have to go through that process to learn what it really truly means to have power out, to give power outside of ourselves, but then to receive it back within us and recognize ourselves as this living light, because we all hold the light, the Christ light within us. And especially with these activated waters that are receiving the charge from that portal of the sun, which is what the Hawaii map shares with us. The final portal is the abode of the Christ, and the Christ is, of course, the Christic codes of the infinite sun, the portal of the infinite suns. And it is the 0 point, which is also the divine child. And that's where we get our magic, our innocence, our trust, our surrender, and where we can truly build this new earth through the eyes of love and of innocence, without all the programs, without all the things that get in the way, that keep us really stuck in limitation. It has a limitlessness to it, and that I see as being the only way we can move forward into the future, into the new future.
Absolutely. Yes, my video is doing strange things.
It's really cool though. You look like you're, like you've got short hair 1 minute and then you've got long hair again. You're looking pretty funky there, girl.
And we'll just
Dancing to the
roll
rhythm
with
of the
it.
cosmic beats.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a rhythm to it.
Yes.
Oh, oh, what a joy. What a joy to be with you in this conversation. Thank you so much. How can people reach you? How's the best way to find the Galactic Grandmothers of MU and you?
Well, I'm a bit of a Facebook queen. And I've just recently been invited to be monetized on Facebook. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds almost suspicious.
I just got that also. That's interesting. I just got one of those and I haven't done
Oh,
anything with it.
wow. It means we've become really popular and people want
Yeah.
to know what we're doing and everything. So for me, it's Facebook, Galactic Grandmothers of MU are on there. It's important that people fill in their details before they come in, because if you don't have your details in there and you just try and get in without answering those questions, then you won't be accepted. And it's got to a point now where it's just an automatic decline, because people need to write really simple information, just a little bit about yourself, and that's it. But we've had just a swag of people who just want to come in without answering any questions recently. So please answer the questions and you're in. But also, and it's a private group, so in there you'll receive the regular weekly temples and also all of our wisdom circles. I've also got my own private page, Te Raukura Turuki, on Facebook as well. And I do a lot of posts, usually daily, and I do digital art. I also do digital sound. So I'm working with new creation codes, new creations of music. And I like to do dance videos as well.
You are modeling bringing the energy through the body and letting that energy move your body. And then you make it fun with all the visual effects. I love it.
Yes, we're using technology to our advantage. We're sort of like a bit more avant-garde grandmothers. We're not like just going to sit around and circle and do more hooey. We're going to be less hooey and more doey. So
Well,
yeah,
that's
we
it.
we like to show up. We like to be heard and seen. It's important that we all take our place now, and we're encouraging everyone to take their place. And also doing the dance prayers really helps to invigorate and support and encourage others to do the same thing. So I'm encouraging creativity, dance, expression, having a voice. It's important that we have our voice. Of course, this is our male womb. We have our wahine womb. We also have our male womb. This is an important time to be activating this part of ourself, to
Mhm.
share our story, to lift each other up, to hold each other in high esteem, to start talking everything up, to start singing the song lines up. And we recently had a interview with an Indigenous elder from Australia, and she she advocates that. That's a really big thing. That if she can't do ceremony, if she can't do the fire ceremonies because of restrictions, because a lot of it's quite patriarchal in certain tribes, certain mobs, she will sing the song lines up herself and go into country and work with country, work with the spirit of the land, work with the spirit of the stones. The stones are actually crystalline technology, especially the stones from sacred sites. And they want us to work with them now because essentially we are that. We have crystalline bones. Our bones are a type of stone, which, is actually important to recognize. And our plasma is our blood and our waters. We're fully loaded and coded and charged, and they want our modi, they want our essence so that we can keep rising and keep being better and better at this. So yeah, that's what is so important right now. That's how we really raise the frequency of this planet and stop following the narratives of what's being shared out there because, all this restriction and domination, that's not our future. That's not our reality. We've got to really stay away from that. I don't even watch the news. I don't engage in any of those subjects. There's people that send me all that stuff. They want me to know about all the laws that are changing and all the things that governments are imposing. I've really got to try and keep my field very clear and clean, especially being on sacred land myself. I live in a temple space. I live in a place called Kopu, which means womb of Venus.
Mhm.
And it's very sacred and important that only good things happen here. We can't be bringing in those outside interferences that are trying to do a predicted future. Yeah. Like a program of the prediction. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard you say how important it is to be neutral. We have to be in that neutral space. So the that's what gives the space for new to grow. If we're charged this way or that way, we're preventing the new. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Kia ora. And also, our sovereignty is really important. We've got to claim it. We can't have others claim authority because that, to me, is claiming authority over another. So, we just have to fully claim ourselves. I believe the way to claim it is under the crown of Kopu because we've all been claimed through birth certificate fraud under Saturn. So we have to come back to the twin flame of this planet, the twin soul of our own planet, which is the higher version of Earth. It is Venus, it is Kopu. And I see also how that is part of the tending of the roots as well, because it allows us to walk the beauty way with clarity, with grace, with alchemy in our blood. We are the living fire. We are the living light. And we need to know that we are the creators. We're also we're accessing our God intelligence now, our angelic selves, our interdimensional DNA, which is all coming online now.
Yes.
And that's what the interstellars is all about too, is accessing, is igniting our junk DNA, which is, of course, or the plasma in our blood, that's where the metamorphosis is going to take place.
I've been hearing it as the 12 strand DNA that's activating the multi-dimensional DNA, that it's 12 strand. And then when those 12 are all active, it's 12 in one that makes the 13th, that the strand is actually the 13th when the 12 are all activated within it. So,
Yes, I've also heard about the 24 strands.
oh
I
yeah,
guess some
this is
people,
just the beginning.
yeah, that's true. That is true. So that's we're going from 2 to 12. And I see that, and sometimes I feel that too, that morphing going on.
Yes. Well,
So
thank you so much for being here today. It's been really a joy to be with you. And I appreciate all the work you're doing. I know that the map that you are carrying matches the map that I've been given, the Blue Lotus Chakra Bloom. When I saw your map, I'm like, oh, this relates, and we get to dive into what that means. We haven't done that yet, but we'll get to do that in the coming weeks and months.
really looking forward to that, sister. Yes, let's do it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister. Yeah, go well with this new rising, and yeah, let's bring on that beautiful elemental God. Yeah, that we can
Yes.
work with even more deeply.
Oh.
Aho.